Margaret, tell us a little bit about your journey as a psychic. How did it start for you?
It started when I was a child. The very, very first psychic thing that I had was when I was about 5 years old. I had a growth on the crown of my head, and I went to see doctors and stuff. Mum took me, and I knew that I had to go to the hospital before they had said. So I knew that I was going to the hospital. I knew the room that I was going in because I did it without anyone telling me. And my mum would say, you can't go in there. And the nurse would say, well, that's where she's got to go. I climbed in the cot, and things like that. So that I knew that. And I just knew that there was something that was going to happen to me. And I got a bit scared about that, but it was just a knowing that I had. But I didn't know that I was actually going in for an operation, And while I was in there, I said to my mum, I want to go home because these babies, they're crying and they're screaming, making too much noise. I said, I don't want to be here. And she said, but you're not with any other babies. I was in a little room by myself, and then they were going to wheel me into the operating room. But to me, I was in another room with other babies in the cots. And so that sort of shook my mum up a little bit. She thought that it was to do with the anaesthetic or the pre-med and stuff like that, So there was a few little incidents like that, And I remember a neighbour coming to tell my mum off, to tell me to keep my mouth shut because I had told my friend about an uncle, apparently that had passed. But I could see him and I knew that he was there and that he just wanted a message given. And of course she went and told her mum, and her mum came and told my mum off and to tell me to be quiet. So my mum had that all through my young life, of being different from everybody else. But it was when I was about 8 as well. I really, really do remember that I woke up during the night crying. And I said, Mum, you've got to come here. There's a baby and it's lying on my bed and it's covered in blood. Please come and get it. Come and get it. And of course we went in and she said, there's no baby there. Put me back to bed. But a day or two later, my auntie had come up from England and she was very heavily pregnant. And of course she went into labour and she had the baby on my bed. And it was a baby girl, what I said. And so the baby was born on my bed. So that was that. And she thought, oh my gosh, Margaret saw that. And then there was one time at the bottom of the bed too, there was a man standing and he had a great big cauldron and he was stirring it with a great big wooden spoon. And he said to me, come, have a look. And to me it was snakes that was trying to crawl out the cauldron and he was stirring it and all that, And so that really freaked me out and I hid under the blankets. And but we had left Scotland in the December and come out to Australia by ship. And we had to call into Piraeus in Greece. And of course they said, don't go too far, we're only refueling, blah, blah. And so we went down to the marketplace. And here was this very same man that was standing at the bottom of my bed with the cauldron. And he had a big pot. And he's stirring it and he's saying, come, have a look. But it wasn't snakes, it was an octopus. And its legs was coming out the pot. And of course I screamed in the middle of the marketplace saying, that's the man that was in my bedroom and this poor man has never seen me. So there was embarrassing moments for my parents as well.
And so growing up then, when you got your mentor, how did that develop then that you moved into doing readings?
That was just one thing that just had happened. I remembered that there was people that had come, we were sitting having a cup of tea and having some lunch, and we were just talking about psychic things. And I can't honestly tell you where I got them from because I don't remember, but I did have a deck of tarot cards. And like I said, I don't know how I got them, but I said, let's have a play. So I put the tarot cards out and I gave spot on accurate readings. They were only like maybe 10-minute readings or something, but that was how all that started. Then someone told someone else. And then I started doing readings, and then I was invited to churches. So I started doing churches in my early development.
When you say doing churches, what does that mean? Doing
spiritualist churches, which means that you're the guest and you do a small address, and then afterwards then you also give a demonstration of your ability. Some do psychometry, which is the holding of an object and feeling the vibration of that person, because that can be implanted in that object. And so then you give them a reading that way. But mine was actual mediumship readings. Whereas I would contact the other side, or they would contact me, for a better word, because we don't conjure them up, they conjure us up, They're the ones that like to have a chat still, and you don't lose your character. So they'll still come and have a chat, So I started doing a lot of the churches and going about doing that, and then it just developed from there. It was just a subtle thing. It wasn't one thing that I started off saying, right, that's what I'm going to do. It was just something that had happened. It was just a progression of it.
What did you enjoy about the spiritualist churches?
I just enjoyed talking to the people and giving them comfort, because basically love calls love. And when you're on the platform, you are the mediator between the spirit world and the physical world. So when I'm speaking to someone about their loved one who has passed over, I feel really privileged. I'm going to cry. I feel really privileged.
You're right.
That they have chosen me as a vehicle to give you comfort, to send the love, Sorry about that.
You're okay.
So I'm very passionate about that. And that's something that no one can ever take away from me. They can put me down, they can stop on me, but they'll never take that away from me.
When you say put you down, tell us the story about Laidley.
We moved from Campbelltown to Laidley in 1994, which is a suburb of Queensland between Toowoomba and Ipswich. And I opened up a Spiritualist Church in Plainlands Community Centre, and I ran that for the 2 years that we were there. When I had advertised that the church was going to take place, I had a phone call from a lady, and she asked me all these questions about it and what it was I was going to do and blah blah. And she said, well, either you're a very stupid woman or you're a very brave woman. And I said, why would that be? I said, why can't I be both, And she said, oh, because this is very much a Lutheran community. She said, even the shop owners are all Lutherans. And she said, I don't know if it will be successful. Well, it was very successful, because there were people who couldn't talk about what they felt and what they knew, and just I see things, I hear things, I feel that I've got some sort of guide with me or some sort of spirit person with me, and they didn't know what to do with that because they couldn't go to their churches and ask there. So when they came to the Spiritualist Church, they felt at home. And it was really good.
Are psychic people your friends in your life? Like in your normal day-to-day life? Is it only psychic people you mix with?
Oh, I mix with all sorts of people. I've got a lot of people that I mix with. A lot of them are psychic, but then are busy too, doing their own journey, going here, doing that, doing the next thing, that we do get together. There are times when I have luncheons here and I just invite them, and we just all sit down and just relax and have a chat, and we have some nice company, some lunch times, and that is really great, and I love that. So I still mix with them as well.
So it's been a great part of your life being a psychic medium. What would have happened if you hadn't chosen this path, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think I would be as fulfilled as I am. I am very fulfilled. I'm very happy, and I'm very thankful for everything that Spirit has offered me, the good and the bad. I've been through some difficult times. I've been through some hardships. I've even been called a devil worshipper. And because they say it's only the devil worshippers or the devil that conjures up the dead. Well, I don't conjure up the dead. They conjure me. They're the ones that come to visit me. I can't go to them, So I'm not a devil worshipper. But Spirit is very much a part of my life every day. And God is the head of this household, and people that come in here just feel so relaxed. And they say, you've got a lovely feeling in this house. That's because God resides here. And that's who I do it for. I do it for the spirit world. I don't do it for gratification from mortal beings. I don't do it for... I do it for honour of the spirit, and integrity and all of that. I don't do it for selfish reasons, and I don't sit there and say, I could make a packet doing this. It's not for that.
Margaret, how do you know if you're with a good psychic?
You will feel that. You will feel their honesty, you will feel their integrity, you will feel their love for their job. And if they're going to feed you a lot of nonsense, then you know that they're not coming from the right place. But you will feel that yourself. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to spend some money to find that, you know. But and it's usually by word of mouth, you know, and use your own instincts. Word of mouth will tell you, yes, this one is really good. But then again, on the day that you come for a reading, that psychic might not be feeling very well, or she may not have the clear communication, so therefore that reading might not be good for you. But that's not to take that away from the psychic either. We do have our days, you know, but you do have to go by your own instincts and listen to other people.
Margaret, for someone who's just pursuing this or thinking of doing it, what would you say to them?
For what reasons do you want to do it? What's your motive? Why do you want to do this? Do you think it's a money spinner? Because if you do, you're not on the right track straight off. I feel as though if you want to be the medium and you want to give healing through your messages, if you want to give the compassion and the love from that spirit person to the client, that will come through in the readings, and you're doing that for the right reasons, then that's it. You don't do it for anything else, but for the love of it.
Thanks, Margaret.
Thank you.